Congrats, brother.
Congrats.
Thank
you so much.
Much
Well
deserved. Big night for your coach as well. We'll get into that in a second. What did it mean to you to win Defensive Player of the Year?
I mean, it was amazing. Something that Cleveland Browns have done yet. So just being able to bring that to the city, something that we can all rally around, and I couldn't do it without my guys. I have a great team, as we can see. Ran out the awards, but great coaching. Schwartz came in and really changed the scheme, changed the mindset, and really got us all going.
When you look at what Jim Schwartz was able to do, especially the way he moved you around defensively, how much did that help you? And you've always been up for Defensive Player of the Year and one of the candidates, but this year you finally win it. How much did Jim Schwartz play a part in that?
I mean, he played a big role, from during the week when we're studying the room, and he's going through every single detail, not just with his particular guys. He's going detailing everyone's single job, being passionate about it, making sure that everyone feels involved, whether it's you're the first guy up or you're the last guy off the bench. Making sure you're prepared for that moment. And just bringing that to the practice field and to the game field. He made everyone feel like they were special, and they can make that game turn to play. And that we had guys all over the field doing just that.
Myles, you're the #1 overall pick. You know the expectations that comes along with that. There was another guy, Bruce Smith, and a lot of people says he has that kind of ability. How important was it for you to win this award and solidify, like, yes, they made the right decision when they took Myles Garrett #1 overall?
I'm just fortunate to be in this position. I'm just happy to be with a team that supports me so much as they have, and show that they did make the right choice. And the Haslam has been completely behind me since I stepped foot in Cleveland. And it was always a goal that I had as soon as I got into the league, be the best defensive player, and whether that was by the respect of my peers or being respected with the award. I'm just going to continue to play my game at the highest level and continue to improve.
No, you deserve. You're one of the best in the business. It's just that simple. I'm wondering about your thoughts and emotions when you reflect on your team this year. If Chubb doesn't get hurt, if Watson doesn't get hurt, the way your defense looked, the way Njoku and Amari Cooper looked, looking at the rest of your squad, as you reflect on this past season, what do you walk away thinking, and how are you feeling about next season?
I think it's an unfortunate string of events. I think if we stay healthy, there's no reason we're not playing this Sunday. And it hurts every time I think about D-Wop getting hurt, Chubb getting hurt, and other big injuries that we had. But I'm proud of the men that I had in the room. I'm proud of the brotherhood that we created from the training camp all throughout the season, and everything we had to fight through, the adversity that we saw. And it was just awesome to see how those guys rallied.
Real quick, how are you guys feeling? Deshaun Watson obviously has been through a lot, but he overcame a lot. He's back in the NFL. He's y'all quarterback. What was it like having him in the locker room for y'all this year? How do all of y'all feel about him, his talent, and what his potential is?
I mean, his talent is overflowing. I mean, the guy is special as they come. You've seen that, since he playing back in Clemson. Yeah. But his leadership is what I believe sets him apart. Being a leader not only in the offense, but going to the defensive side, supporting us, on and off the field. The guy just wants to be a great teammate and a great person, and he's been that since he stepped foot here.
That's great.
You get Joe Flacco gets off his couch. The man is in the carpool lane. He's picking up his kids. He just eating Cheetos.
Ordering McDonald's.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he comes in. What was your expectations? You get a guy that's 38 years of old, seemingly no one wanted him in the offseason. He wasn't in anyone's camp, and here we are, week 9, week 10. You guys pick him up. What was your expectations when Joe Flacco comes into the building?
Man, once you have it, you never truly lose it. And he came in and he's first set himself apart by being a leader, having that experience, that calm composure, talking to the young guys, making sure they're all on the same page, getting in with them early, staying late, stuff like that, where you look at a veteran, you don't want to see that guy leaving early, leaving before you do. Staying with those young guys, making sure we're on the same page. When we get to the game, I know this guy. Even though it's first, second, third game with him, we're clicking just like that. And then him stepping on the field, and he just plays so carefree. Yeah. I've been here before, and I can just turn it right back on.
Can I get into the Super Bowl real quick? So you guys beat the Niners earlier in the season. What does Kansas City need to do to knock them off?
They got to be real physical with them. we got to be physical at the receiver position and got to knock them off the line of the scrimmage. Those guys, if you allow them to have inch of space and you let Kittle get free, I think that's the X factor for them. Letting Kittle have a great game is going to tear up any game plan that they have. Us up front, we're able to have some success getting Purdy up the spot, knocking those guys back, eliminating the run game. After that, make Purdy win the game and make him win it outside the pocket. That made it real difficult for him.
You talk about making Purdy win it outside the pocket. Patrick Mahomes, which many people believe is the best quarterback of this era, one of the greatest of all time already, having an opportunity to cement that dynasty if he wins his third. As a defensive lineman, what is your approach when you're playing Patrick Mahomes?
Frustrate the hell out of him. Whether that's through batting balls, put them on the ground, take your shots. You just got to make sure that someone has a hand in his face or someone's applying pressure at any given time. And if you got those chatters on your side of the field, whether they got the Greg Newsom at DB or Denzel, let those guys eat up at them, and then you keep applying pressure.
How do you feel that affects him though? Because we've seen Patrick Mahomes play them all. The Baltimore Ravens chirped and got penalties. We've seen people drop footballs, but he always finds a way. You
got to stay in your game.
Okay.
You can't get outside of yourself. Trying to do something to affect someone else. So they were playing a little bit too far.
Yeah. Right.
I think the penalties is what really hurt them because they were playing a hell of a game. Without those.
Would you characterize this season as successful for Lamar Jackson?
Absolutely not. And remember, he's the only quarterback on that of list who's won multiple MVPs without a Super Bowl. Yeah. Every other quarterback there has won one. Young won one, and
every one of them.
I don't know how anybody could.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. Yeah. And Jim Brown won a championship. He's a running back, as we know. I don't know how anybody can sit there and watch Lamar, who's lost 3 home playoff games, 2 in 4 in the postseason, and he was bad. He was bad against the Chiefs. And he got outplayed by Mahomes, who sits there and says, well, he's had a great year. Well, MVP, he gets judged by different levels.
He does.
You have to win it. He's making $40, $50 million a year. You got to win a Super Bowl. You got to get to a Super Bowl. He had a home field advantage. He was the #1 seed second time. And he gets knocked off and was bad in the game. And we're going to sit there and say he had a great year? I don't care about awards.
Well, this is the first year he really had all the pieces, though.
Makes it worse.
No, I'm saying so this year is fair. For criticism in the past, we could argue.
He lost to Tennessee at home.
They went down 14-0 in that game and had 7 drops.
How many turnovers did he have? You see what happens, what we're doing, dog? Every time when the Ravens win, Lamar was sensational. But when he loses, it's Greg Roman. When he loses, Todd Monken. When he loses, Zay Flowers should have done this. But what about the pick? What about the pick in the triple coverage? What about the
decision? Bad decision by Lamar.
Okay, then say that.
Shannon, that is not the reason they lost that football game.
Okay,
that singular play.
That could have been a reason they won.
Okay, but I could point to so many different things that are more. They lost the AFC title game because of their game plan. They didn't lose their AFC title game because of the way Lamar played.
He does this all the time. He does this all the time.
Does Lamar step up in the biggest? He did not step up in the AFC championship. Absolutely. We have plenty of evidence.
No.
In the playoffs, we're talking playoffs.
Before you go on any further, Dio, before you go on any further, and I'll give it to you. Could you do me one favor?
Yes, sir.
Could you stop bringing up game planning? You know why? Let me finish. Let me tell you why. Because that always applies. Whether you win or lose, it has something to do with your game plan.
And I'm always going to bring it up.
I'm saying, but it always is the case.
And I'm always going to highlight if it's either good or bad.
Any loss that happens, any win that happens, you can point to game plan.
But any loss that happens and any win that happens, it never solely on the quarterback's performance.
So we cannot sit here and literally judge your individual performance because we have to lean on a game plan?
No, I will. You can do whatever you want, but I'm going to look at the game and look at it in the totality and context. I can watch that AFC Championship game. There's nobody on the planet that can tell me that game plan was good, and there's nobody on the planet that can tell me that they lost because of Lamar's performance.
But we can't sit there and say if Zay Flowers doesn't fumble the ball in a football for a touchback and Lamar Jackson doesn't throw an interception in the triple coverage, we can sit up there and say despite the bad game plan, they could have still won.
Absolutely.
So was that the game game plan that Lamar fumbled? Was that the game plan that he threw a bad pick? Was that the game plan that Zay Flowers fumbled?
No, Shannon, you know that's all attached to the outcome of the game.
It's always been attached, but we use a different metric because we like Lamar and we want to escape a criticism of being critical of Lamar. It's okay.
No,
it's okay. It's okay, Dio, to say Lamar didn't play well in the AFC Championship game.
He did not play well in the AFC
Championship game. But no, that's not what you said. You said it was the game plan. But you say game plan first, then Lamar didn't play well.
That's right.
Because it's hard for a quarterback to play well when the game plan is poor.
So, let me tell you what the great ones can do. The great ones have always been able to play above X's and O's. Now, name me the great quarterback that hasn't been able to play above the X's and O's. From Tom Brady to Peyton Manning to John Elway to all the Patrick Mahomes. So every time the great ones have won, it's been an ideal game plan.
Peyton Manning a great quarterback?
Yes.
And Lamar Jackson a great quarterback.
When they played in Seattle in the Super Bowl, was it Peyton Manning or was it because they got skunked?
Peyton Manning didn't play well.
But it wasn't because they got skunked by a team.
He didn't
you
play
came
well,
on this
Dan.
segment. From that game, I have said Lamar did not play well. It doesn't mean that this season is a disappointment
yes,
for Lamar.
it does.
It's the first year in a new setting.
But Dan, he was all teed up this year. That was the point. It was all teed up for him.
Hold on. I actually do believe it was a relative success for Lamar Jackson, okay? So I don't disagree with you with your overall point. Here's where I'm coming from, Shannon and Dougie, because I know you disagree. He got to an AFC championship game. That's number one. Number two, thank God we saw him in the postseason because he missed the previous 2 years because he was injured. So not only that, and then you got and this is what we have to give credit where credit is due. He played a bad game in the AFC championship game. There's no denying that, and I get where you're coming from. What I'm looking at is you were injured not one, but the 2 previous seasons, the last 5 games of the regular season going into the postseason. And on top of it all, you got your bag after holding out. You got your $260 million contract. Then you come out and you put forth an MVP regular season and you get to an AFC championship game. I can't label that failure.
Thank you.
That part, I can't do it under those conditions.
Can I just ask you, I know we don't have an A-list today. Give me your quarterback rankings right now. Like, if you have Patrick Mahomes, I want to know
I'm not
where.
putting Patrick on the conversation.
Okay.
Patrick no longer.
I want to know where
ranked.
Lamar fits in this context.
I would put Lamar probably 3 or 4.
Okay, give me
behind. I think Josh Allen would be 2. Probably Joe Burrow 3, Lamar 4. Healthy Rodgers in that conversation, but those are my top 4.
Lamar 4, is that fair, Mad Dog?
Here's how you judge this with these quarterbacks. You got a game to win for your life. I'm taking Matthew Stafford over Lamar. I'll tell you right now, not even an issue. You see the way Stafford played against the Lions when he got his rear end beat and he went in 60 yards? You see what he played against the freaking Bengals?
You ain't got to tell anybody
won?
about Stafford. I mean,
well, you're a Stafford fan. Yeah. So that leaves me Stafford. I know Burrow's better. I know Allen's better. I know Mahomes is better. And I'm taking Rodgers. You want to count him? Because I think he's still going to be better when he plays next year.